Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm very pleased to welcome a very special guest to the podcast, the amazing women's physique pro and Olympian Trish Pollydore. Is that the correct for your last name?
Yes. Yep. Most people call me Trish. Legal is Trisha, but yeah, Trish Pollydore is typically what I go by. So
Oh, terrific. Okay, very cool. Trish won the Ben Weider Naturals competition in 2024, and that qualified her for this year's Olympia. And this was her O debut as well. And I actually got a chance to speak with her at the meet and greet on October 9th. So that was great to get a chance to meet her. Trisha lives in Edmonton, Canada, and Alberta, and is an amazing muscle mama of two kids. Stay tuned to find out more about this amazing natural athlete and where she'll compete next. Welcome, Trish. It's really nice to meet you.
thank you, David. Pleasure to be here and chat with you today.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really, like I said, pleasure to get to see you in person at the Olympia just 10 days ago or so. And that was just amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great show too. Did you enjoy your experience there?
You know what? It was it's hard to describe it. First time being there, and honestly, it was definitely the peak of the mountaintop for me as an athlete, especially as a natural, to make it there. Yeah, and honestly, everything went so well. I was so happy with how I was presented, and everything went so good. Yeah, it was a great experience for sure.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's the pinnacle of bodybuilding, and to get to compete there on that stage, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks again.
Now, so I wanted to ask how you got started in bodybuilding, and I was wondering if you had an athletic or a sports background before you started training and competing in bodybuilding competitions.
Yeah, I mean, I growing up, obviously was involved in a lot of different school sports. I did track and field, played competitive volleyball, stuff like that. But my main competitive spirit growing up was in competitive dance. So I did
Oh,
all forms of dance in terms of, jazz, tap, ballet, hip hop, contemporary, that sort of thing. Um, and then, yeah, basically, out of high school, I ended up getting my Bachelor of Education degree. So taught grade 9 math science for a few years. And then
cool.
after 4 years of that, I had a career change and went into sales in insurance. And I've been
Okay.
doing that ever since. And then it really wasn't until I started a family and had my two kids. My daughter was 4 at the time, my son was 2. And I mean, I had always gone to the gym. But it took a personal trainer kind of setting me aside. He had saw me in the gym, and he just said, you know what, Trish, like, you have a lot of potential. I think, if you spent some time with me and just learned movements and the proper way to do things, he said, I just feel like he saw potential in me.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so he convinced me to sign up for some personal training sessions. We did 2 times a week for 6 months. And it was at my local Good Life gym. My kids were going to the daycare when I would go train with him. And
Okay.
and then the other 3 days a week were on my own. And literally in that 6 month period, David, my body completely morphed. It
Wow.
was amazing. He had other trainers constantly asking him, like, what did you put her on? Like, what are you giving her? And he was like, nothing. She's just learned the
Wow.
proper way to train.
Uh-huh.
And for me, it really was someone sitting me down and really teaching me the nutrition side of things. Because as we all know, you can't out train a bad diet. And I always felt like, oh, I'm going to the gym, and it justified me eating whatever I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
But when he sat me down, and it literally was like 2 options for breakfast, two for, throughout the meals, throughout the day, it was like I had choice A or B. And this is all you eat, Trish, and you don't eat off this plan. And I just
Okay.
thought, you know what, if I'm paying this man to train me and teach me these things, I'm going all in. So it was a flick of the switch, and it was like, I went all in for that 6 months, and I lost a ton of weight and put on a shit ton of muscle. And literally at the end of that, I would be walking in the grocery store, and I'd have strangers stop and ask me, what show are you doing, Trish? Like, are you competing soon? Like, what is happening? And,
Wow.
it was a few cases of that where I was like, oh, I should look into competing. Maybe that would be fun. And then I literally did my show a year after I kind of started taking my training a little bit more seriously.
Okay.
And that first show was with WMBF, which is INBF now.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and I had won that first show, and it was a great experience. And then, yeah, I got started with the CPA right after that first show, and the rest is history.
That's terrific. That's really amazing. That's quite a journey you had there too. Um,
Yeah.
have you always done natural competitions?
Always. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right from the very beginning, obviously WMBF, they did the full polygraph test, all of that before you even stepped on stage.
Mm-hmm.
CPA, same thing. Every show that I had done, winners were always urine tested.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously at the Ben Weider, the most recent natural show that I did, they obviously polygraphed ahead of time and urine test after I won that show too.
Okay.
So yeah, I had always done natural shows that were always tested. And for me, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I pride myself on is I am a lifetime natural.
That's awesome.
And I will always be that way. I have no intention of ever starting any PEDs or anything like that. So it's just something that I've been very proud of in terms of building my physique over the last 7, 8 years. And yeah,
Yeah,
super proud of that.
that's awesome. You looked really great at the Olympia for sure. And
Thank you.
I think being lifetime natty, that's really admirable, I think, too. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I was curious when you first started competing in bodybuilding, which division did you do?
I have always been in women's physique division.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I
okay.
think, the very first coach that I had worked with, um, it really was a no-brainer with my dance background that I had. The routine, number one, kind of, I guess that's where my passion for bodybuilding was.
Yeah, sure.
So that attracted me to that division, as well as the mandatory poses. It wasn't just simply coming out, doing a T walk, and coming. It was like there was something to it, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Those 5 mandatory poses and the routine to music, that part really kind of spoke to me, and I was like, yeah, this was meant for me. I love to perform. So I think that's why I've always stuck with that.
That's terrific. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like women's physique. Yeah, exactly. Because that you get to show your creativity and you get to show
Yeah.
the and do the flex too. You don't really the flex is a little
Yes.
different with figure wellness or whatever. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, as a girly girl, I do love the heels.
yeah,
But and I know in different associations and stuff like that, they do pose with the heels, but to me it seems a little bit awkward.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm cool in my bare feet doing this. So yeah.
I liked it. Masters Olympia, they had the figure ladies doing a pose down. I thought that was cool,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they posed with their heels on. I was like, it seems like it'd be kind of hard to do.
I know, a little bit different look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool. I was curious, do you have a fitness role model or anybody that you really look up to in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, my coach has always been a role model. He not only talks the talk, but he walks the walk. He doesn't compete anymore, but I mean, he looks like he does.
Okay.
So I've
Yeah.
always looked up to him and always appreciate his advice and that sort of thing. And people ask me, women's physique, who's your all-time favorite? And for me, I love Shanique Grant. I met her here at Olympia 10 days ago and had the chance to talk to her. And
Yeah.
I just think in terms of her physique, the femininity that she brought to the stage, like I always respected that about her.
Yeah.
And like I said, her physique is one of the best in my opinion. So yeah, I've always followed her and definitely look up to her. I know she's not doing this division anymore, but and just for her to do what she did at such a young age, yeah, I definitely respect her for that. So
Oh yeah, she's amazing, and I'm glad that she came back to compete in wellness too. I think that's.
yes,
And what's your coach's name?
Braden Miller.
Bryn
So
Miller?
Braden Miller, yeah, yeah, from
Oh,
Trademark Physiques here in Edmonton.
oh, cool. Oh, so he's local?
Yes. So that's another benefit for sure that he's here. And, I train in his gym when I can. It's on the other end of the city, but I get there usually holidays and weekends when I can.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so it's nice that he's here for sure.
That's terrific. That's great. Yeah. Sounds like he's a good role model too, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we started our working relationship back in the end of 2021. It was after the second time I had done the national natural pro qualifier in Toronto. That second run through, I was 1 point away from getting my pro card there, and I was pretty much self-coached in prep up until that point.
Okay.
That was a tough loss for me. After I came home after that show, I was like, I'm not competing anymore. It's a
Mm.
lot of work. I came that close and kind of went through a period where I was like, okay, I'm done. And then,
Yeah.
you come home, you let things simmer a little bit, and, the emotion side, disappears. And then I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go back, I have to do something different. And I
Yeah.
had talked to
Yeah.
Braden at a couple local shows here, and he was flat out with me and just said, you know what, Trish, like, yeah, you looked good, but he said your conditioning wasn't there.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
he was very blunt about it and just said, yeah, like you didn't work, you didn't earn it. And so we teamed up end of 2021, and we were going to go back in 22. And man, I thought I knew what prep was until I went through a prep with him, and I
Oh,
had no
really?
idea.
Yeah.
Like just the things that he would
Uh-huh.
monitor and, from his check-ins, all the information that he wanted on a weekly basis and that sort of thing. And even just
Yeah.
going through peak week with him, like I wouldn't have done it any other way if I would have known that. The
Yeah.
things
That's
you
true.
learn as you go.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we knocked that prep out of the park. It was the absolute best at that point that I had looked, came in conditioned, and it was like we wanted to be undeniable when we came back, and we won 2 pro cards at that show. So I took the open and the
Wow.
masters pro card. So that was the start of our working relationship. And from there, we've only had success. So
That's terrific. Oh, that's
yeah,
great. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's great. Sounds like a good relationship with him and
really good. Yeah,
he's a good coach. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, that's very cool. Yeah. I think that's cool that he's in the same city too. I think that's neat.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, definitely.
I was curious when you first stepped on stage, was it tough for you to get up there in a bikini or not so bad because you had the dance background and stuff? Or
That's exactly it, David. Like I had been used to stepping on stage with my competitive dance. And I mean, a lot of those costumes are pretty skimpy too.
yeah.
Not a bathing suit per se, but I guess from a performance aspect, that part never really scared me because I had had that experience in the past. But
Yeah.
it is quite different when you're in a skimpy little bikini and all eyes are on you because you're the only one up there. And yeah, it can be intimidating for sure. And I still to this day, I always get a little bit of nerves as you're kind of waiting for your name to get called and you go out there. But I always just say, like, when you have that kind of anxiety a little bit before you step on stage, like you never feel as alive as you do in that moment. And it
Yeah.
is an
Yeah.
incredible feeling. And for me, yeah, I get a little nervous. You kind of stumble around a little bit sometimes when you're up there, feel a little shaky, but I mean, you kind of settle in after the first few seconds and yeah,
Yeah.
I just try to enjoy it every single time because you've worked so hard to get to that point. You just want to
Yeah.
perform and do your best and hope that it's such a short period of time that you get up there. There's a lot of build up to that moment. So you always want to nail it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I totally understand. And I was thinking, you before we started recording, you mentioned you had a long prep to get ready for Olympia. 24
Yeah.
weeks, you said?
24 weeks, Coach Braden started me out. Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, most of my preps have been 24 weeks with him. Just for like as a natural, it always takes me that much longer to lean out and get the conditioning that we need.
Yeah, I
So it is
understand.
a long prep. I know a lot of people only end up having to do, sometimes 12 or 16 weeks. But
Yeah.
yeah, for me to get that conditioning, we're locked in diet 24 weeks out.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And your
Yeah.
conditioning was really good. I thought at the Olympia it looked great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I seem to like every prep that we go through together, I seem to get that much more better each time. I've basically from when I started, I've done a DEXA scan typically a week out. So right before peak week, I will go and just see where my body fat percentage is.
Yeah.
And every single show, it's not a lot different, but even that little extra 1% or half a percent, it's like, okay, that's my reassurance that it's like, okay, we got that much better this time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to do those scans regularly too and see,
Yeah.
make sure you're making progress. And yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm a math major, so I'm a little bit of a numbers nerd. So for
Oh
me,
yeah.
I love that information, right?
Oh yeah, math. I love math actually. I actually work for a University of Florida, and we have a center that focuses on literacy and math and trying to raise test scores. So math
Oh,
is a big
nice.
initiative we're working on now. So yeah,
Cool.
really, it's great working there. So
Right on.
yeah. Um, so what was your experience like at Olympia? Did you enjoy the show and were you kind of fangirling, seeing all the ladies and stuff? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything from, the Olympians meet and greet to the athlete check-in. You know, I relate it to Happy Gilmore, when he gets the jacket. That
Mhm.
for me was a very cool moment to get the tracksuit, the Nebbia tracksuit and the Olympia jacket, that it's like only the athletes get this, right? So
I
it's
know,
not that
yeah.
anybody else can go and buy one of these. It was very special for sure.
Nice.
And I mean, backstage, I had approached and introduced myself to Sarah and Natalia. I bumped into Ronnie Coleman in the hotel lobby and introduced myself to him and had a quick
Nice.
conversation with him. And yeah, I mean, and just in passing, seeing a lot of the other athletes that I follow on Instagram and stuff like that, it was just, it was really cool. Part
That's
of the
awesome.
meet and greet, I was like, oh, I wish I wasn't at this table. I could walk around and go and meet some of the people that I wanted to bump into, but
Oh yeah.
there'll be another time, hopefully, for that. So
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. Yeah, you could, yeah, definitely come to the next Olympia, whether you compete there or not, and then you
yeah,
could kind of do that experience because
yeah,
it is.
exactly.
One thing I thought was neat was they had Corey Everson and Anya Longer and Bev Francis were all there, and I remember them competing back in the '80s, and they're just,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing women, and still look great too. They look amazing. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's so cool.
Um, so in terms of, would you say there was a good kind of iron sisterhood backstage at the Olympia, and what was your experience like with the expediters and the tan and makeup people too?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the tan and makeup, that like I've always been super blessed with shows when it comes to that. Like I know some girls have had like terrible experiences with hair and makeup and tan, but I mean, the shows that I've done, I've always been so impressed and so happy with the looks and that sort of thing that I've brought to the stage.
Yeah.
So I never have any complaints about that. But
Okay. Cool.
backstage, I mean, backstage was interesting. I mean, I was a nobody, right? Like nobody knew who I was, right? First time
Uh-huh.
there.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm pretty forward. Like I said, I went backstage up to Sarah and Natalia, introduced myself, and just had quick conversation with both of them. And I mean,
Yeah.
just a lot of the other ladies were kind of just keeping to themselves, and so I did kind of the same, right? But
Yeah. I
yeah,
understand.
I mean, there was never any like, people trying to, mess with you or like get in your head or anything, like nothing like that, right? I just felt like most of the other women just kind of kept to themselves, and we were all there to kind of just have our own moment.
That's cool. Yeah. I was curious, like how, since you're kind of like the sole natty competitor, really, what it would
Yeah.
be kind of like. And I remember talking to Andrea Alonso, who won Ben Weider the year before and
Yeah.
was the natty competitor at Olympia last year. But I just think it's kind of interesting because it is kind of a unique role for you being
Yeah.
that natty competitor.
Yeah, exactly. Now I had actually reached out to Chelsea Mooney from Ontario, because she
Mm.
also won figure in Ben Weider last year, the same year that I did.
Oh,
And
cool.
so
Okay.
her and I actually became friends through this. And
Nice.
we prepped together for Olympia, and we're kind of messaging back and forth with, have you heard about this? Or, because we don't know anything, right?
Yeah.
So we leaned on each other quite a bit for that. And I actually
Oh,
met her
cool.
in Vegas, and we were able to get a lift in at the gym beforehand. And, we took in the expo together on the Saturday morning and stuff like that. So yeah, that honestly, that was a nice friendship that was formed, yeah, out of us both being natural and winning the Ben Weider last year and having this Olympia experience this year. So
Oh, that's really cool. That's terrific that
Yeah.
you got to meet her and hang out with her too. That's
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
Yeah, very
And
cool.
just relatable, right? Because I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I think that's terrific. I think that's good that you did that. Yeah, and connected with her. Now, we talked a little bit about it before we started recording, but do you think you might do Ben Weider Naturals this year, which would be coming up in about a month in November, I think,
yeah.
right? Uh-huh.
Lots of people are asking me this question right now. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm undecided. I'm actually sitting on the fence right now.
Yeah, I understand.
Every show that I've done, basically since I turned pro in 2022, has been very strategic. Obviously, with a young family, like financially, I have to be, obviously mindful of that. Um, and there's a lot of moving pieces to my life in terms of working full time, having a 10 and 12-year-old at home in their own competitive sports, all the things. And it's a big commitment, not just time for training, but the meal prepping, the everything that goes into it. It's a big commitment. So I realize it's only a month away. I mean, I'm ready for it. It would be easy to do it. But yeah, there's a few things I kind of got to figure out and contemplate before I pull the trigger one way or another.
Okay,
Um,
I
but
understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
I realize I do have to decide fairly quickly here if I'm going to do it. So
That'd be great if you could do it again and, defend your title and then
yeah.
maybe return to the Olympia next year would be cool too.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it definitely would keep the door open for options.
mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. Like I said, I'll probably, like I said, make that decision here within the next week or two at the most. So
Oh, cool. Keep me posted. Yeah. I hope that
yeah,
you
for
can,
sure I will. Yeah.
I hope you can do it again. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Um, now, um, let me see. Oh, now I was curious when you were at the Olympia, but also at Ben Weider's, do you ever try to seek out feedback from the judges and get
Always.
their, yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
do that with the Olympia this recently?
Yes. So I have emailed for feedback from Sandy. So she was the head judge. I'm still waiting to receive that. So as I can imagine, she's got a lot to respond to.
Yeah,
So
sure.
looking forward to that. But yeah, the same thing at the Ben Weider. After every show, it's always nice to hear feedback, whether
Yeah,
it's positive, negative, or both, right? My feedback from Ben Weider was pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously had to come in a little bit tighter with the glutes, and just more development overall. But
okay.
as you know, as a natural, it's really hard to put on even a pound of muscle in a year,
Yeah,
even to do
yeah,
that at my age is not an easy feat.
yeah, sure.
So I mean, in terms of growth, like I'm not going to get much bigger than I already am.
Okay,
But of course, there's always things that you can improve, whether it's, not just size, but just, yeah, just overall look in terms of, yeah, getting better each and every time you go to compete, right?
sure, yeah. And you mentioned you're 45 years old?
I'm going to be 45 in January. Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow, yeah. I think, like I said, bodybuilding's fountain of youth because yeah, you definitely look younger too, I think. Definitely.
Well, I like to hear that. You're my new best friend.
Oh, no, you do. You look amazing. You really, yeah, very, very beautiful. So, uh, no, that's cool. Yeah. That's one thing I was thinking too, for you to do Olympia again, maybe Masters Olympia, because that I could see you
Yeah.
doing well at Masters Olympia too. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So you never know down the road, right?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. I think next one's gonna be 2027 and who knows where it's gonna be this time, but yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was curious if there's any advice you can provide to ladies who are seeking to earn their pro card. I know there's a lot of hard work and dedication involved,
Yeah.
but any other special advice you could provide?
I mean, as I relate it to my experience getting my pro card is just don't give up. Because I was
Yeah.
so close to being like, I was so close to giving up and being like, you know what, I'm not competing again. It was just a
Hmm.
lot of work, that show when there was 1 point difference,
Yeah.
I was, that was a tough loss for me.
Hmm.
But like I said, just don't give up. And I think the other most important thing that I would say advice wise is just, is your coach is everything.
Hmm.
Someone who believes in you. um they're not necessarily a friend and they can, be blunt with you about you know, things that you really need to do, you know,
Yeah.
that some people, it might be, you know, hurt their ego or their feelings, but it's like, you need someone that's gonna, you know, put you in your place sometimes, you know, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and tell it like it is. And that's
Mhm.
one thing that I've always really appreciated about Braden is he's never held back. And we have a good working relationship. We make a really good team. He knows I'm a hard worker and I'll do whatever it takes to get it done. And he pushes me hard. Don't get me wrong, but there's no sugarcoating things. It's like,
Good.
this is
Yeah.
what you need to do. And from the beginning of prep till the end, it's like I'm locked in. I'm giving it my 100%, and I try not to waver because I know it's a very short period of time in the grand scheme of things. So
Yeah.
it's like, if I'm
Yeah.
doing this, I'm not going to half-ass it, because then you get on stage and, you know, if you don't get the result that you wanted, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's because I didn't do this or I cheated with that, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At
I
least, you know,
understand.
if you followed the plan, you did everything you could do, at the end of the day, it is what it is then, right? And you know, you've
Yeah.
come in your best, and you've put everything out on the table. So
I have talked with a few ladies, I think, who've gotten frustrated with their placings and said, I'm done, I'm retiring. And then they do maybe end up coming back within 6 months to a year. And I think, yeah, kind of, I think they miss competing too. I think there's that
yeah.
competing draws them back in sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I totally understand that. But that's good advice too. I was curious, what do you think is your best muscle group, or what do you think needs the most improvement?
Well, I would say probably my strongest muscle group would probably be my back. And
Yeah,
that, of course, that's my favorite training day, is a good pull day.
yeah, your back is
My
great.
weakness, yeah, my weakness obviously would probably be glutes. I mean, I come from a line of genetics of flat bum. So I've
Uh,
had to work extremely hard at that. And
yeah,
trust me, I've come a long way already. But I mean, again, that's something I can always improve for sure.
yeah, I can relate to the flat bum genetics. Yeah, that's tough to,
Yeah.
yeah. I was curious, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
5'6". So yeah,
Yeah.
so you're a little higher, taller than some of the average, I think, which is
Yep.
probably about 5'4", I think. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah. Um, Now, you mentioned you have your coach, but I was curious, do you have a opposing coach as well?
I do, yes. Jai Lino is my posing coach. So again, I started working with him same time as when I started working with Braden, actually, before I turned pro in 2022.
Mm,
So yeah, I've worked with him for my last couple shows as well. And yeah, he's been great, definitely to work with. And my posing
cool.
has improved so much just from working with him. So
And what's his name again? Jai Lino?
Jai Lino, yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh,
And
that's good.
his, yeah, their team Lino is their team Lino posing is their, I believe it's him and his brother that started that company. So
Oh, cool. I'll probably check with you after we start recording to make sure I get
yeah,
the spelling right. So yeah, but
yeah, of course.
I'll include your coach's info down below in case people want to reach out to him and stuff. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, no, that's great. Yeah, I think having a posing coach makes a big difference too. I think it's important, especially in women's physique where posing is so important too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
absolutely.
do you, as a dance person, do you choreograph your own routines, or does he help
Yeah,
you?
you know, Jai usually gives me the foundation of what he thinks goes with the music and that sort of thing. But I've always added my own spin to certain things. Like we'll go through it, and then, you know, I'll take some time before our next session to kind of practice it. And, you know, after I do it with the music a few times, I'm like, oh, this little hand movement, or, you know, implement a couple different things. And when I show it to him, he's always like, yes, we're doing that, you know. So we make a good
Right.
team that way too. And part of the
Great.
reason why I love Jai so much is he's very collaborative. So if there's something that I don't think looks right, I'll be like, okay, well, can we switch it up? Can we do this instead? Or this doesn't feel right. Let's do something different. He's always like, he's always very good about that. And I
Okay.
think that's, again, what makes us such a great team, is because we have that collaboration, right? It's not do it this way and, that's how it needs to be done. It's like, it's always back and forth, which I've always appreciated about him for sure.
That's terrific. That's great. Sounds like he's a really good coach too. So
He is,
you've got a
yeah,
good
he's
team
great.
going.
And just
Yeah.
what I find with Jai is he's just like really wants to bring out the integrity of posing.
Okay.
And you'll see it with his other athletes too, is it's just it's making posing great again, and I
Yeah.
feel like with some of the shows that I've watched, like that's been lost. It's
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
robotic. There's not a lot of emotion to it, and we're really trying to bring that back, especially to women's physique division. It's almost like,
Yeah.
when we've
Yeah.
chatted, he's like, Trish, you need to start like a classic women's physique division.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I got to do my, my initial presentation at Olympia. I never got to do my posing routine to music, which was kind of sad, but that's okay
Oh, I know.
because
I'm
we
sorry about
we
that.
did
Yeah.
prepare it. But yeah, you never know. If I end up doing Ben Weider, we'll see it then, right?
That'd be cool. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and yeah, I do, like I said, I like the creativity of the posing for physique
yeah,
and yeah, the choreography and picking the right music and everything. I think that's important
hmm
to do that. Um
exactly.
yeah, I've sent a few ladies songs that I thought would be good posing songs and
Okay,
yeah, so I just have an ear for music anyway, but I can kind of envision like what a routine would look like with that song.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here. Now you mentioned you have full-time career outside of bodybuilding and what's your specialty again?
Yeah, so I was a grade 9 math science teacher for 4 years. That's what I started at a university. And then I actually did a career change in 2017. And I do commercial sales now for insurance.
Okay.
And I've
Oh,
been in that
cool.
industry for 18 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah. How do you like it? Is that job life flexibility for bodybuilding
You
and
know
training?
what? It's good. Obviously, any sales job, it's a little bit high pressure, right? Because you got
Yeah.
numbers to hit every year, and so yeah, it's a little. I mean, sales, there's always going to be that pressure, right? But the nice thing with that is you do have some flexibility. I mean, obviously, I mean, you have to be available pretty much 24/7 for your clients. It's not a
Yeah.
9 to 5 job. But on the flip side of that, with kids and stuff like that, if you need to, drive kids here and there and have to jet out a little bit early, you can do that and make it up later, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You make it work.
Uh-huh.
So flexibility wise, it's nice. And of course, with sales, the more you sell, like in terms of income, there's some really good growth potential there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's been very rewarding and good to me over the last 18 years. And I feel like,
Good. Yeah.
it's allowed me to do some of the other personal things in my life that are important to me, because bodybuilding is not cheap. People are not doing it because they make tons of money doing it, winning shows, right? They
Yeah.
usually have something else going on in the background.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
insurance has allowed me to do that. And so I'm very fortunate, very lucky for that reason, for sure.
That's terrific. No, I think that's great that you did that. I know teaching doesn't always pay that well either, so
No.
and it's not always very flexible either. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and you said you had two kids. How old are your kids?
Yeah. My son is 10 and I have a 12-year-old daughter.
Oh, very cool. What do they think about your bodybuilding career? Are they supportive?
Oh man, they love it. We did t-shirts and stuff before Olympia this year, and they wore them to
Oh,
school so
nice.
proudly. And they're both in sports. My son plays tackle football and club soccer, and my daughter does competitive dance. And
Nice.
they proudly wore those shirts, and they still do. And when people ask them, "Oh, who's that on your shirt?" and they're like, "Oh, that's my mom."
Oh, wow. That's so
So
cool.
they
Yeah.
they love that I do it. And yeah, they support it for sure. They love it. So
That's
they
terrific.
they think they think I'm pretty cool, I think.
Oh yeah, I bet they're really proud of you. Yeah. Your their mom looks like a superhero. So, like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah, and I
cool.
mean, just being out and about in public, like they always, they hear and they see things from other people that, well, why do people always compliment you? Or, why are they always asking you questions about food? And I'm like, well, the only real way I can explain it to them is not a lot of other moms look like me. So
Yes, that's true.
and a lot of the
Yeah.
times they don't believe that, those two kids are mine. But and I think that's why a lot of people usually have lots of questions and comments when we're out and about, right? So, but
Oh,
they're kind of used to that now.
oh, I bet they are. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool though, that they're so supportive. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And are you married also?
Still legally married, yes. But yeah, there's we're definitely going through it's complicated, we'll just say that.
Okay, I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. Um, no, that's but no, it's great that the kids are so supportive.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? My husband is a very, we're friends, right? At the
Yeah,
end of the day, he's always been very supportive of my bodybuilding and that sort of thing. And he's helped pick up slack with the kids when obviously I'm in prep and stuff like that. So I'm very thankful for him for that.
that's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, marriage is not easy, right? And we've
Yeah.
had our struggles over the last few years too. Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, sometimes people like I've changed, right? I am not the same person I was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
that, sometimes, people grow apart and that marriage just isn't the same as, it was 13 years ago. So we've
Yeah.
gone through our differences and our struggles and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I mean, we have two amazing kids and we're the best parents to them. So at the end of the day, they're always my number one priority, right? Making sure that their needs are met.
Oh
And
yeah.
and yeah, I know they're well taken care of and we both love them. And we're doing our best in terms of, raising them and hopefully making them successful for when they're older, right?
That's awesome. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's terrific. Yeah. Yeah, I love kids. Kids are awesome. They're it's
Yeah.
neat watching them grow and watching them kind of figure out the world and stuff. It's kind of
You know
neat.
what? It's the best. Like, and I just keep saying, like, each phase, each stage with them as they get older, they just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
Like, just to
Yeah.
see, how much they've changed from when they were younger. And you see little pieces of you come out in them at certain times, both good and bad. But
Yeah.
it's so cool. It's so cool. I don't even like being a mom is like the best thing, honestly. It really is. And I'm so blessed. Like I have the best two kids, honestly. I know I'm biased, but they really are. They're the coolest.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that's great. Yeah, good to have that kid support too,
Totally.
for bodybuilding and everything. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
not easy to do bodybuilding. It's tough,
Yeah,
even
it
the
is not
cheerleaders.
easy. And that's why most people like my coach put it in a really, really great perspective about Olympia. And he just, after we were done, he just said to me, he said, how does it feel to know that 99.99% of people will never get to do what you just did?
Yeah, I know. That's impressive, isn't it?
And that,
Yeah, I
to put it
know.
in that perspective, I was like, that is so cool.
It is. That's really
And
impressive.
we did it.
And yeah, I mean, that's a worldwide thing too. I mean, I bet
Yeah.
people around over the world want to go to the Olympia and be on that stage. So yeah, it's very impressive, I think. Um, oh,
Exactly. Yeah.
um, I was
Oh,
curious, are
froze a
your,
little bit.
oh yeah, yeah, I think we're back. We froze for a little bit. Are your parents still alive?
They are. Yes. Yep.
And what do they think about your bodybuilding career? Do they support you?
Oh man, we went through some phases with my parents because, like I said, over the last 7, 8 years, I have changed a lot. I went
Yeah,
through basically a lifestyle change with, how I cook food to the things that I'm eating to the training and just transforming my body. I
sure.
don't really drink a lot anymore. So a lot has changed and I think it's been hard for them to see it.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
now, and I mean, I'm still fun. It's just I don't do a lot of the things that I used to do anymore in terms of like indulging in certain food or, drinking and
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But I mean, they've come around. They realize that this is kind of what I do now and this is who I am and they do support it. Yeah, they know like my life is very busy. They always think that, you know, one of these days that you got to slow down a little bit. But I mean, this is my life. This is what I'm used to. And this is what brings me joy. One thing as a
Yeah.
mother, you know, who works full time, it's like the gym and training and even the competing side of bodybuilding, that's what like brings the life out of me. So for me, that's the addicting part is it I know how good I feel when I'm doing it. So if
Yeah.
it's making every other aspect of my life better because I'm doing this, it's a good thing. So, you know what I'm saying?
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's good to have the parents support too, just because I know I've heard of some where the parents just don't support it at all.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of heartbreaking and stuff too. So
Yeah.
but I think it does take some time to kind of turn 'em around too. They don't really understand why what you're doing or why you're doing it, you know. So
It's so
yeah.
true. It's very true. Yeah.
I was curious, do your kids or parents ever come to your shows to be your cheering section?
Yeah, so my parents came to the very first bodybuilding show that I had done back in 2018.
Mhm.
They haven't been to a show since. They would have loved to come to Vegas, but yeah, just with circumstances and stuff like that, they weren't able to come. But
Okay.
and my
Yeah.
kids, the only two shows that they have been present at were I brought them to Toronto in 2022 when I got those two pro cards. So
Okay.
very pivotal moment, and they were there for that.
Oh, nice.
And then
Yeah.
they were with me in Vegas as well. So to see me on that stage and just take in Vegas after we stayed a couple extra days to do some family stuff. And
Oh,
I just
cool.
thought it was really important. If it ended up being the last time I hit the stage, I wanted my kids to be there and to see that moment for me.
Oh,
Um,
that's great.
they may
Yeah.
not realize the significance of it right now, but I think when they're older, they'll look back and they'll be thankful that they were there.
That's great. I think that's terrific that they were able to root for you at the Olympia this year. So that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
awesome having them there.
I bet. Yeah, that was cool. Did y'all get to kind of tour the expo with them too, or?
Yeah, we did a little bit of that, and then we stayed a few days after the show as well, and just yeah, we did a Cirque du Soleil show. We went to see the Michael
Oh,
Jackson's one.
nice.
My
Yeah.
son loves amusement parks, so we did the Circus indoor amusement park.
Oh,
You know, we
yeah.
walked the
Cool.
strip, and you know, they loved going to like the M&M store and the Coca-Cola store. And my
Yeah.
daughter is obsessed, you know, with Raising Canes from TikTok and stuff like that. So for her to be able to do that and experience those things, like those were the highlights for them.
Oh, terrific. That's cool. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of cool stuff for kids there to yeah, and I know what you mean about that Circus indoor park. That's kind of a nice
Mhm.
you know, with roller coasters and everything in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And no
that's
one would ride the roller coaster with my son, so I got I had to do that with him, which I wasn't overly impressed about because I don't rides with me now. It's just like my stomach. It's like ever since I had kids, that has changed. But I had to I had to take one for the team and take a roller coaster ride with my son there. So
Oh yeah, some of the ones at Circus are pretty intense too, you know.
yeah, so we
Yeah.
survived. But I was like, after that, I was like, okay, no more rides for mom. That's it.
Was that before or after you competed?
That was after,
After,
definitely.
oh, cool. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want
Yeah,
to do that before. Yeah.
exactly.
Um, so I'm almost out of time. So I think I'll go ahead and wrap up.
Sure.
I just wondering if there's anybody that or anything that I missed that you'd like to address or anybody you'd like to shout out.
Yeah, I mean, I had a client, Concrete Resources Inc. out of Edmonton. They had sponsored me. So obviously, I want to thank Darcy and obviously for his support. He's been a longtime client of mine.
Okay.
So obviously, want to thank him so much for recognizing, you know, this achievement that I've personally made and appreciate his support. And obviously, my family, you know, I had 3 girlfriends come down for Olympia and show their support. They, you know, made the t-shirts ahead of time that we sold to
Nice.
people. You know,
Cool.
and just an outpouring of like messages and story posts and stuff like that on Instagram. Like anyone who reached out and, you know, just mentioned they were cheering for me and stuff like that. Like I'm really humbled by all of that.
Nice. That's
So
great.
honestly, so many people to thank, my coach, my posing coach, people at work that were supportive of, me not joining in the work lunches and stuff like that, just
Oh
because of,
yeah, I gotcha.
what I was
Yeah,
going through. Very understanding and supportive
nice.
that way.
Okay.
But yeah, just everyone was just so great about it. And it's just such a good feeling knowing that I had so much support and so many people cheering for me.
Okay, terrific.
And so many people from the natural bodybuilding community reaching out and following me after the show. And,
Oh yeah,
I think it was important for people to see, maybe that haven't had that pro card yet, or, it was good for them to see that a lifetime natural made it to the Olympia stage. And I felt that, I didn't look out of place. Like my conditioning
yeah.
was good. I had a great presentation other than size. Like I felt I represented natural bodybuilding very well on the Olympia stage,
I think
because
so too.
I mean
Yeah,
I am an anomaly, right? Lifetime natural, and I mean not a lot of people believe it, and I defend it all the time. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, when people don't believe it, I just take it as a compliment, and I'm like,
yeah,
people are going to
yeah.
think and believe what they want. At the end of the day, I'm the one that knows, and that's the only thing that matters. So
Oh yeah. No, I think that's great. And that's great that the natural community kind of came out to support you like that
yeah.
and reached out to you like that. I think that's terrific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, as lifetime naturals, there's not a lot of us in the IFBB, let's face it, right?
No.
So yeah, I think it's great. And what an opportunity for them to give the winners of the Ben Weider, that qualification to Olympia.
Yeah,
Um,
I know. I like that too.
I
Yeah.
think it's such a great opportunity, and super thankful for that as well. So it gives us a path, where it wasn't always there and available to us and
Yeah.
attainable, right?
I agree. No, I think it is. I really appreciate that too. Since I started following Andrea Alonso and yeah, with her getting the Olympia nod like that, I thought that was great because I really like her look a lot too.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's yeah, no, I think that's great that IFBB does that and allows that at least that one opportunity, to go to the O.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's important, I think. Now, and also, you mentioned concrete resources, but do you have any sponsors from like
Other than
bodybuilding or
that, not at the moment, no. But
no?
as you know, I mean, financially, bodybuilding is not easy, especially raising a young family. And, I work full time and I'm spread very thin.
Yeah,
So,
I
I mean,
know.
obviously, I always welcome any and all help. But, being a lifetime natural, I'm thinking there's got to be like a supplement company that like would love to have me as their face, being
I
like,
know.
hey, like Trish is an anomaly. We don't see this. Like that would be amazing, honestly. And the thing is I've had companies reach out to me in the past, but it hasn't felt right. It wasn't the right fit. And if and when that time comes, I got to believe in the product, and I got to
Yeah,
believe that it's the right message that I value and stand behind.
yeah.
Um,
Good.
and I think obviously it definitely could happen. It just hasn't been the right fit.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to give a quick shout out to the Bad Rap ladies because they're big supporters of women's bodybuilding
Oh, nice.
and they have a clothing company, but they've helped with entry fees and prize money. And they're just really cool folks. Good
Awesome.
ladies. So yeah, I
Okay.
like to wear their merchandise. Um, well, thanks again, Trish. I really appreciate your time. Would you mind doing a quick bicep flex for me?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, nice job. Wow, you look terrific. I hope you'll do Ben Weider's. I know you're on the fence, but yeah,
Yeah.
I hope you'll defend that title and get back to the Olympia next year. It'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I go back and forth on the fence right now, but I'll decide here within the next week or two max. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'll keep you posted with what we end up deciding and where we go from there. So
terrific. That's great. No, thank you. Well, thanks again for your time, Trish, and I'll try to get this posted probably later today or tomorrow morning, and I'll keep
sure.
you posted,
Really
of course.
appreciate this, David. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it was, and as I mentioned, it was terrific to get to meet you at the meet and greet too, last or 10 days ago or so. So
Yeah,
yeah,
same here. Always a
thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, David.